If you have been looking at the immersion and you're wondering what is the difference between Queen Alchemy and the immersion, this video is definitely for you. And I really hope this helps to explain the difference, but also to help you to make an intuitive decision for yourself, because intuition trumps everything. Both containers are absolutely life-changing and they work. That's why I've been doing them for so long. That's why we have a ridiculous amount of testimonials. They are just wildly different experiences. So I want to clear that up for you guys so that you can fully understand that. So first things first is they are both designed for the same kind of woman. You do not need to be at a certain level to do Queen Alchemy or the immersion. You do not need to have done the work before. They are both for the woman who is ready to stop just thinking about healing and reading the books and listening to the podcast, but actually feeling that healing and that transformation in her body. So if you are fully ready, there's probably a body that's not ready to reclaim your feminine energy, to release the old stories and the micro and macro trauma and the conditioning and clear the trauma, I've already said that, and to become the most magnetic version of yourself, that you are really ready for that. Queen Alchemy is a great fit and the immersion is a great fit. They're just different. So Queen Alchemy is a 7-week deep healing container. It is high touch, it is intimate, it is the basis of it, the foundation of it is trauma healing work done via somatic healing so that you can feel safe to step into your feminine. There are 7 core trauma calls. Obviously, all of this is on the website page, but I'm just breaking it down for you so that you can just really clearly see the difference. There are 7 core trauma calls. And in those 7 core trauma calls, we go into deep inner child work, feminine, masculine polarity, nervous system regulation, boundaries work, shame, grief, like I am enough work, all of it, like money trauma. We go through a lot. The whole list of what we go through is on that website page. Plus, there is also 14 extra mini trauma calls. So the mini trauma calls, you pick and choose which ones to come to. And so you can kind of tailor the experience to what you need. So the program is deep, but it's also really broad. You get Telegram access to me in a group Telegram. So it's not one-on-one access, but it's in a group. But you do get this element to an extent of kind of like one-on-one in the sense of you can ask me questions and I will give you advice back. I'm not going to give it to the whole group. I'm giving it to you, which kind of means that you get this element of like real-time coaching, very, very, very context-driven support. You get extra voice notes that I drop into the Telegram for integration, inspiration, for further support on different things like navigating the gap and overwhelm and overthinking, that kind of stuff. It's really perfect if you want structure, space, time to integrate, and coaching support over a longer period of time. The content portal, like the portal that you get in Queen Alchemy, is also hours and hours and hours of teaching to plug into even after the live calls end. The con, I'll say, of Queen Alchemy, or just like the thing to consider, and we'll kind of get into this in a second with the immersion and the difference really between the two, is obviously you have that long-term support and everything, but it's through a computer screen, right? It's not going to be the depth that you could go to in person. People often worry, what if I self-sabotage? I set you up as best as I can in Queen Alchemy to not self-sabotage. However, I also can't control you. So there is obviously the possibility that you could self-sabotage. So let's go into the immersion. The immersion, on the other hand, is not a program. It is an experience. It is a initiation. It is a portal. It is like something else, okay? It is 3 days. It's obviously in person, and it is unlike anything that you have experienced before, and unlike anything that you probably will experience before. A lot of people say that a lot of the stuff I take you through is like the closest thing that they've been to like an ayahuasca journey or a mushroom trip. Don't get scared by that either. What I'm more so saying is like that is how deep we go without you needing ayahuasca or without you needing to go on a mushroom journey. You are just using yourself. So there is this really deep element of safety and to an extent control, because like you're not using any substances to get to where you need to get to for your healing, and you have that depth of healing. The beautiful thing about the immersion is there is absolutely no possibility of hiding. We are not in a room of 100 women. You are not a number. In fact, I actually know every single one of your names before you even walk in the door, because I really care about ensuring that you feel fully seen by me. I don't even want to have to ask you what is your name, although you need to make sure that you look the same in the picture that you provide, because otherwise I will be like, what's your name? So I really am seeing you, and the other women in the room are seeing you. So there is no masks, there is no pretending, there is no hiding behind a screen. It is you, it is your body, it is your truth, in a room filled with other beautiful, safe women doing the exact same thing. So there's not 100 of us in the room. There is actually no more than about 40 of us in the room, depending on the size of the space that we have, because I know how many women I can energetically hold ethically, and I will not take more than that, because then I cannot give the best experience to you. So you are in the room with me and with other women. You cannot hide, and it is so safe. Read the testimonials. People are often surprised just how much safety there is in the room and with the other women. You cannot turn your camera off. You cannot check out. You are in it. And the depth that you access because of that is wild, because you are not 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You are 2 feet in and all of you is in. And there is something that happens in person. When you're screaming, when you're crying, when you're moving, when you're expressing, when you're in your anger, you just can't replicate that to an extent online. We do some of the same things in Queen Alchemy as we do in the Immersion, and women that have done Queen Alchemy will often say, I thought I went deep in Queen Alchemy. Oh my God, I went so much deeper in person, because there is an added layer of safety in that, like, your neighbors can't hear you. There is also this added layer of like, I have invested so much to be here. I'm going all out. All these other women are going all out. Monica's demonstration is all fucking out. I'm going all out. There is just those added layers of like healthy pressure to take you where you're wanting to go. Your ego doesn't want to go there, but you want to go there. So really, because you're in this room of, and listen to the recent testimonial video, the 2024, like from a 2024 events, listen to that, because the women mention this of like, because you're in a room surrounded by women doing the same, it activates you. It gives you permission. It gives you the desire to like go there as well. So at the Immersion, we do the womb work, we do the breast massage, we do all of the anger work, we do the manifestation, we do inner child healing, we do throat clearing, we do boundaries work, we do the grief, like we do all of that. It's just in this compacted period of time. It is raw, it is primal, it is so safely held, and it will change your life in literally 3 days. Obviously, there's a time difference between Queen Alchemy and the Immersion, 3 days versus 7 weeks. So let me break this down really simply. Queen Alchemy is for the woman who wants time, like a longer period of time. She wants structure over a longer period of time. There's a lot of structure in the Immersion, so don't feel like it's chaos. She wants depth, and she wants space to move through things slowly and powerfully, a little bit more at her own pace to an extent, right? Because it's still, Queen Alchemy is still immersive. It's 7 weeks, and there's a lot going on in those 7 weeks. Because it's over 7 weeks though, we also cover so many different topics that you can read about on the website page. And at the Immersion, we have Q&A time. You can come up to me. I know I mentioned in Queen Alchemy, there's almost like a one-on-one component, and then I will answer your specific question. I will do that at the Immersion too. You can come up and ask me. We have plenty of Q&A time on the last day. So that's where you can ask your questions, and I will answer it for you. I won't just give you a general answer that could be for anybody. I will answer it for you, because I also have seen what you've moved through, and I've heard what you've moved through, because there's so much sharing as well in those last 3 days, in the last 3 days, that on day 3, when you're asking me those questions, I know the exact answer to give you, not just a general room of women where like, I don't know their walk of life. Okay. So the Immersion, on the other hand, is for the woman really that is like, just crack me open and like, I want to be wide open in 3 days flat. It is an initiation. It is literally a portal for yourself, and you will quantum leap and condense time. So the healing that takes people 10 years in therapy, it's done in 3 days. That is the Immersion. And there is also a benefit to not being in your home, because you are outside of that comfort zone, of that space where it's like you do a bit of healing and then you drop back into the old pattern potentially. For some people, they need to be out of that space. The 3 compact days, they're fully changed, and then they reintegrate. And I give you integration tools and steps. Then they reintegrate back into their life. So it's fast. It's to an extent intense, but also like exactly what you need, and it's just like orgasmic for how good it feels to release that. And you cannot self-sabotage or half-ass it. So you really get a huge amount of transformation in a very short period of time. But both are incredibly deep, both are fully somatic, both have healing and also integration. It's just that the delivery is really different. Now you might be thinking, okay, what if I do both? If you do both, you obviously collapse time even more. It's like healing on hyperspeed without rushing the integration either. The immersion, think about it, of like the immersion is going to unlock you to a level that you probably can't even, 100% of women actually have said this to me. Those that have said this, of like, I could never take myself to this depth, and I never was able to, and I never even knew that I could go this deep until I came to the immersion. So the immersion unlocks your body and to that kind of depth. And then Queen Alchemy, if you were to have both, will then support you to anchor that breakthrough into every area of your life, because you have the portal access for further integration for what you need. And depending if you do Queen Alchemy before or after, you then also have that extra healing. So the women that do the immersion first and then Queen Alchemy later, they will say that they feel so excited knowing that they have Queen Alchemy to look forward to for that further healing and integration from everything they worked on at the immersion. And when you join Queen Alchemy, you get access to the portal straight away. So they have that if they've already joined Queen Alchemy before they did the immersion, even though we might not have the live calls yet, depending, when the two are happening and when you've joined, even if we don't have the live calls happening just yet, you have the portal and you have the knowing of like, oh, I get to work even deeper on this thing, or I get more support on this thing that came up that I like released the first 5 layers of at the immersion, but is there more underneath that? So then you have that continued support. Or for those of you that have already done Queen Alchemy or do Queen Alchemy first and then the immersion, what women have then said to me about that, I've had equal situations, right? So there's no right or wrong way to do this by any means. There's no perfect order. It's truly just preference if you were to do both. But doing Queen Alchemy first and then the immersion took them to an even deeper level of healing and embodiment and integration than they got in Queen Alchemy, and they thought Queen Alchemy was deep. Like they got insane results in Queen Alchemy, and the immersion took them even deeper or allowed them to work on new fears that had come up and the new kind of life that they were stepping into post Queen Alchemy. So what I hope you're gathering is that there is no right or wrong decision that you can make here. It's truly your personal preference and what your intuition is calling you towards. What I want to also remind you of is if you are that woman that is like, I have done so much work on myself, I don't feel like I'm a fit for Queen Alchemy because all those things that are listed on Queen Alchemy I have worked on and I feel like so solidified in, but you just want a space to be able to release like the weight of being a human sometimes and the exhaustion of being a woman sometimes, then definitely just do the immersion. Like 100% you are a fit for the immersion. My suggestion is to really read both website pages, the immersion and Queen Alchemy. What is your body being called to? You obviously can always ask Olivia or myself. We will also then continue to guide you of like, what are you being intuitively called to? What is your intuition saying? Because there is no right or wrong with this. It truly is like, you know yourself the best. I do not know you the best. You know yourself the best. What are you being called to? Obviously, if you can do both, amazing, but you don't also need to do both to get really, really, really insane results. I hope this didn't confuse you. I hope this gave you some clarity around the difference between the two. It probably also made you realize like, okay, there isn't too much of a difference. It's just the delivery that is different. So you really cannot make a wrong decision. And the good thing is like, I've been doing the immersion for ages. I've been doing Queen Alchemy for ages. It's not going anywhere that at least I'm planning on right now. So you can always start with one and then you can jump to the other later in a year's time or in 2 years' time if you want to, or in 6 months' time, whatever you want. Like, I'm always, always, always here. Trust your intuition. Please, please, please trust that. And also remember, most importantly, that you do not need to be at the depths of despair and hitting rock bottom to do either of these programs. If you just want more in your life, perfect. That is a reason to do this, because you will be shedding all of the things that are like blurring your vision to the next step for you. You will be shedding the layers of the fears, any last bits of conditioning, any wounding that could potentially be holding you back. If you want a second opinion though on which one you think is better, or just validation on what your intuition is calling you towards, please just send a little summary on kind of like, this is me, this is what I'm wanting to get out of it, this is where I am in my life. I'm feeling called towards the immersion, or I'm feeling called towards Queen Alchemy. Can you just validate that you also are in agreement with this? And if I see a really like big reason of why I don't agree, or a question to ask you, then I will ask you that, or Olivia will ask you that. Otherwise, we will validate your choice if we also agree, like, yep, that sounds like a really, really great option. Okay, I will see you either in the immersion or at the immersion or in Queen Alchemy. And just remember, we're always here to help. We're always here to answer your questions. And I hope that you have a lovely rest of your day.